Hi everyone, welcome to Kaohsiung. Yeah, we're back in Kaohsiung. You guys remember this place? I've done numerous live streams from here over the years, and if you'll notice in the upper right hand corner there's a tree. It's really been growing. It's actually kind of encroaching into the frame, but it looks very. Mike, how are you? All right. Hey, that sounds good. And we're live. That's right, Dave. Good to see you guys. And I just got something that I want you to hear. Yes. The sound of freedom. Yep. Got some good old Sapporo, man. You know, I haven't had Sapporo in a long time. I usually drink Kirin, it's my favorite. But I saw this Sapporo in the 7-Eleven and decided to get 2 cans of it, 2 tall boys. It's 99 NT for 2 of these, so that means it's $3. These are $1.50 each. That's a tall boy beer for $1.50, man. You can't beat that. So Mike, tell me about this. Stages ingredients for a whole food meal that tastes better than any fast food meal. Well, personally, I wouldn't compare what I was cooking to a fast food meal, but you do have one point. Usually those fast food meals do taste pretty good. They're just not necessarily as nutritious as you would make at home. But first hit off the Sapporo. It's definitely a Japanese beer. It's nice and light, but boy, it's got some good flavor. Usually the ingredients are in Chinese. The can is, the ingredients are sideways, so I can't really read them. And, oh, wait a minute. No, it is. It's written up and down. I drank some beer from Taiwan, made in Taiwan, that the only 2 ingredients, it said sui, which is water, and it said pijiu hua, beer flower. In other words, it's hops. It's 100% hops beer. It's pretty good. I can taste the hops in this, but it's not 100%. Oh, that's nice and refreshing. Green beans, mushrooms, yeah. Oh man. Now it's going to be, is that going to be vegetarian? That sounds fantastic. You guys know me, I like a steak, and I do like meat, but I also like vegetarian meals, and I have no complaints, and I often go to vegetarian restaurants, don't even think about it. And Taiwan, we also have this, got a bite out of it. It's a, well, let's see if I can get it to focus. Anyway, it says it's a cheese and meat sauce, smoked sausage burrito. So I'm having that, and I got a sandwich, small, like tuna and egg salad sandwich. I got a small German garlic sausage. We had about an hour and a half ride on the Kaohsiung. And this is a Friday. It's kind of a bonus, you know, because I came down here to see my wife's parents. Dad's not doing so great. Just want to see how they are. See what we can do to maybe make their life better, but that's an interesting point. Never thought about that. Dave is saying, though, this location was number 2 to Win-Wins, yeah. Unfortunately, though, I wasn't able to bring anybody here. Dave, the next time that you're in Taiwan, I swear, if you book a flight back too early, you're going to miss it. I'll make sure of that. I'm taking you to the Cowboy Bar, and I want you to, I know you're not a huge drinker, but I know you appreciate this, so just sample, little shots of these different whiskeys that Johnson has been introducing me to, and that amazing food he's got at the bar, and afterwards we can come down here and take a bite out of this. Can just shoot the breeze, man. Because sun comes up like right over there, so that whole part of the sky will be light. No, Mike, it's we say in Chinese, "in gaida," so like you're supposed to do it. It's just duty. But yeah, we want to do it. Yeah, love to have you visit the Cowboy Bar. The new location is just as iconic as the old one. It's amazing how Johnson was able to create the new place with so much of the same vibe as the original. It's hard for me sometimes to remember the original now, but anyway. I've had some foreigner friends visit Taiwan, and tell me they were in Kaohsiung, and where should I go? And I didn't have time to come down and meet him. But my friend Johnny Z did come to Kaohsiung, and I did have a chance to meet him and take him there. But every time one of those friends has come, I'm going to move this up just a hair. There's a little tiny thing down the bottom that's starting to bug me. There you go. I just send Johnson a text message and tell him to reserve a seat at the bar for my friend, and he always does, and always takes care of him. So tomorrow, during the day, I'm not sure what we're doing. My wife's sister got me some more of that pepper flakes, the spicy flakes. I'm gonna make another batch of hot oil. Can't wait. The last batch of hot oil I made on the stove in my 8-inch Dutch oven, and it was, you heard me say before, it's off the charts. This time, I want to add some extra peppers. I want to add some garlic. I might do something crazy like add a little cinnamon to it, because I just love that spice, and it goes with so many things. Of course, I use copious amounts of black sesame oil and a little bit of either, I like rice bran oil or peanut oil for making hot oil out of, or with, you could say, but I'm so ready for that. So tomorrow, not sure what we're doing during the day. Doing something. But on the way back from the airport, from the high-speed rail, feels like the airport. My wife's sister drove us on this road, and one of the big night markets is open again. And it's really nice. It's like a permanent one. And she said that the Qinghui, which is the light rail, I'll explain in a minute, goes right to it, and it's very convenient. The light rail basically replaces an old Japanese narrow gauge line that was used in the sugar production industry, because here in Kaohsiung there's a lot of Japanese influence. I saw a World War II biplane with a Japanese flag on it, and it said made in Kaohsiung on the plane. It's amazing, because Taiwan used to belong to Japan from 1895 to 1945. It was a colony. Everybody, you read articles and talk about the Japanese occupation. That's incorrect. That's disingenuous. That is an improper political viewpoint. It's not historical. They did not occupy Taiwan. It was a colony. They were members of the Japan Diet. Taiwan was a province, fully represented, and had full voting rights and full citizen rights. It was not an occupation, and they developed it too, like nobody had developed it before. When the nationalists came here in 1948, many of them had never seen an elevator. Communication systems and railway systems were so far in advance that they had never seen that in China. But I digress. But this light rail system is beautiful. They have these little payment cards, and you must have those in the States by now. But when I used to live in the States, those things didn't exist. You just had a debit card or a credit card. But anyway, you go down to 7-Eleven and you give them a couple hundred NT, and they put it onto your card. It's a type of debit card, but it works for all this transportation, and it works for the U-bikes and a lot of different systems. And you just get on board, and you just tap the screen with your card. It goes beep. It knows when you get on, and then when you get off, you tap it again, and it goes beep, and it deducts the proper amount. So Phoenix wants to go. So I think we're going to go down to the Qingwei, and we're going to show where it is. We'll start a live stream with a gimbal till it comes, show what it looks like, and then we'll put the camera on us, and we'll go inside and sit down. If we can, we might have to stand up. We'll ride all the way to the night market, get out and walk around. That sounds like a good plan. Mike, what do you want to talk about, sugar? How processed sugar is a scourge on the world. People don't trust the FDA in America, because the FDA for years had a campaign: sugar is safe, sugar is safe, sugar is safe. Well, sugar is safe in the sense that it's not instantly lethal, if you eat it. Hey, Marin, it's good to see you too. Fist bump to you. Always a pleasure. How's everything in Texas? I see you on a couple of times, and it's usually like I'm saying, I see a notification, and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm laying in bed. But thanks for joining me, Mirna. Trying to stay hopeful about what, Mike? But yeah, I saw a documentary on sugar, and they were saying that the FDA was really pushing it. I'm gonna say it, man. They are corrupt, and you can see it with this pandemic, because they're not trying to, like Brett Weinstein said, foot on the gas. Let the virus die out. They're making decisions based on financial interests. It's pretty obvious, and I don't want to go there. But sugar is not a good thing. Raw sugar is not a good thing for people to consume. And growing up, when I was a kid, we had a sugar bowl on the table, and my mom wasn't looking. I mean, half of my cereal bowl was sugar. It's a wonder I didn't go in a diabetic coma. But when you're 10 years old or 8 years old, you can handle a lot. But the problem is it puts you on the track for a lifelong problem of diabetes. Yep. So type 2 diabetes is. You think COVID-19 is an epidemic? Pfft. Look at the numbers of type 2 diabetes around the world, and COVID-19 looks like not that big of a problem. When I was in Bali talking to Lalir at Natus Herbal, she worked with a local hospital doing a study on the Balinese diet and how it had changed. And now so many people in Bali have diabetes because they stopped eating the traditional foods. And what they substituted it with is Western foods, mostly snacks. Yeah, sugar corrupt. I think it's a pretty good way of saying it. Now, Taiwan is really good in this respect. The labeling is very uniform, and even foreign products have to have a Chinese translated label. So I can read, carbohydrates, I can read sugar, I can read salt, all that stuff on there, right? So, and there are 2 units of measure, usually. For the most part, a vast majority of things will have a 100 gram measurement, and then they'll have a per container or per serving measurement. So let's say you had a 350 milligram bottle of some soft drink, and you looked at the right-hand column that says 100 grams, based on 100 grams, and you look at it, it says sugar, and then you see that it says 11.2. So that's 11.2 grams out of 100. That's 11.2% sugar. It's really easy to figure that out. And then you look in the left column, and they'll tell you how much sugar is in that whole thing. And boy, see, the problem is you can get in the habit of reading the right-hand side. Kenrod, how you doing, bro? Good to see a fist bump to you. You can get, caught up in reading the right side and go, oh, this thing is only 2% sugar per 100 grams. But you got it, you've got a 2-liter bottle of it. Now, I don't want to pick on any particular brand, but I read something recently that just astonished me. And it was from the States. And so the States doesn't use metrics, they use, imperial. But how many of you guys have ever had like real sugar cane? Because it's popular in Asia. There are many places in Taiwan that, sell sugar cane juice-based drinks. They got like these big stocks of sugar cane just, leaning up against the wall, and they got an extractor machine, and it doesn't really make much noise, but it just squeezes it to death and takes all the juice out, which is funny because we saw them doing that in Laos with a manual machine. They had a big bar that they would push, and it would walk around, and it twisted on a cog. It twisted 2 pieces of a log together that would make like a ringer. Hey, Dean, how you doing? Yeah, good morning to you. And it will squeeze the juice out of the sugar cane into a bucket. Now, the Taiwanese machines are so efficient that if you took those ones from Laos, right, those pieces left over that they already squeezed and put them in the machine in Taiwan, it will still get stuff out. But you can get some highly sweet sugarized stuff. So here's the thing. I've seen somebody run an 8-foot piece of sugar cane through one of these machines and seen the liquid that comes out, and it is a lot of liquid. Now it needs to be rendered down to form the crystalline sugar, but what I read make me drop my beer. Popular brand of soft drink, it's 2 words separated by a colon, and they both begin with C. And it's pretty typical. But 1 can contains the sugar from an 8-foot piece of sugar cane. So my daughter Phoenix has never even tasted that soft drink because I won't allow her to drink it. Because I know what's going to happen. It's good. It tastes good. She's going to want it. And that'll be the end of it. I think what you mean, Mike, is that sugar is on an ingredients list and you can't tell how much is in the product. And that's really true. Because even though there are labels in Chinese, I'll go to Jason's Market. I'll get something from the US or England or Australia. And just for the fun of it, I will look at their nutritional list, and it's so purposely deceiving. Like, I remember one. I wanted to know how much sugar was in this. How many grams of sugar is in this thing? And it gave me something like, it said something like 14%. I'm like, what do you mean 14? What do you mean 14%? Are you saying 14% of the volume of this whole thing is sugar? And then it said there's an asterisk. The asterisk said percentage of recommended daily values by the FDA. Ugh, the FDA again. Get them out of this business, man. The FDA is the freaking dumb agency is what they are. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's another one. Yeah, high fructose corn syrup. You might as well slit your throat. It's faster and less painful. Yeah, me too. But I will say, whatever they put in Coca-Cola here, and I've had it here in Taiwan. Of course, I put rum in it, but I haven't actually drank a Coke, and I can't remember when. But it tastes different here because they don't use regular sugar. They're not actually allowed to put, the granulated processed sugar in those drinks here, and I don't know why that is. In the old days, I worked in a refractory making fired bricks, for the the refractory industry, like for steel mills and so forth. We had 6 beehive kills for firing bricks, and You know, the place was hot. So every break time we'd go to the break room, and they had a machine full of those pony bottles, you know, glass bottles, pony bottles of Coca-Cola. And everybody used to say, yeah, these pony bottles, man, they taste the best. They taste the best. I think part of it was because the pony bottles didn't overload you too bad. They weren't that big. But there was something about the flavor of Coca-Cola in those days. And I do like it. But I have found, now especially, there are so many things that you can make without sugar at all, without sweetener at all. And I'm always, you know, like, I follow Dr. Sears, and he talks about making some, you know, some healthy kind of concoction, and it's always like, put a tablespoon of honey in to sweeten it. I'm like, what the heck for? Why does everything have to be sweet? You know, I want to ask you guys a question. Wherever you are listening, do you have salty flavor toothpaste? If you've seen salty flavor toothpaste, have you ever tried it? Oh, I see. Oh, I heard that actually. I heard a debate about, you know, which one tastes better, you know. Okay, so Ken's saying he's never had salty flavor toothpaste. Or seen it. You never saw it, right? Corn syrup. There's another one. Corn is so glycemic that it should not even be part of the human diet. It almost goes, you know, directly to blood glucose. It doesn't, you know, doesn't even hardly get. It doesn't even hardly get metabolized, and there's no really nutritional value in it. I don't eat corn at all anymore. And one of the most popular soups in Taiwan is corn soup. Everybody go, corn soup, corn soup. No, thank you. Well, there are a couple of there's a couple of homegrown indigenous Taiwan brands. And there's one, I can't think of the name, but Sun something. And it was my favorite. It is a salty flavor based toothpaste, and it actually has salt in it, which is a good cleaner for your teeth. Dr. Sears says he brushes his teeth with sea salt. For years, I brushed my teeth with baking soda, and that is just, it's phenomenal. And years ago, Arm & Hammer in the States, I used to use the Arm & Hammer baking soda toothpaste, and it wasn't sweet, and I really, really liked that. But there's one that I bought the other day, another one, a salty flavored toothpaste. I'm telling you guys, if you ever find, it might be worth it just to have some fun if you have to order it from overseas. It might be an interesting experiment to just try a salty flavor toothpaste. Now, I've been using it so long, and in my house, you know, we buy things, you know, a couple at a time, and we have basically we have a stock room in our house of stuff, you know, like that. So I'm out of deodorant, I go to the stock room, I pull another one out, you know, that kind of stuff. Toothpaste, same thing. Of course, sometimes you forget to restock, and we have Amway. We don't, my wife and I don't sell Amway, but we're Amway consumers, and we have some Amway toothpaste, which is pretty good, and it's extremely low sugar. But after taking this, you know, using it on a daily basis, this salty flavored toothpaste, if I run out and I go get some of this Amway toothpaste, it tastes like, it's like I dipped my toothbrush in honey. it's hard because you really get used to, being without sugar. And everywhere I go, we say in Chinese, Wu-Tang is no sugar, sugarless. But then the other part of the problem is, you guys know, I'm a phenylketonuria, so I'm allergic to phenylalanine-based artificial sweeteners like NutraSweet. I'm also, I'm pretty much, my sister said I'm the most sensitive person she's ever known to artificial sweeteners, so if I taste something, and I say this in Taiwan, there was you guys have been watching me drink for like the last 5 years. Rums, and whiskeys, and different mixers. And I found a peach drink that was an apple flavored drink, very low in sugar. It tasted great. So I would pour like some rum over ice. I'd add soda water. I put just a splash of this apple in there to give it a flavor. And about 2 weeks later, I started getting really bad headaches. And couldn't figure out why, but when that happens, it's usually food related. So I started looking at this apple drink, and I asked my wife to look at the ingredients. The problem is, in Chinese is a very weird language because it's extremely specific about certain things. Like, for example, if you say my sister, you don't say my sister, you say my older sister or my younger sister. Or you don't say my uncle, you say my uncle on my mother's side or my uncle on my father's side. But when it comes to things that seem to be important, it's just some kind of glossed over term. And they use this, catch all, like artificial ingredients or artificial flavor. And it could be anything. So my wife looked at it and she said, you should just stop drinking this. Because it says it has non-natural chemical-based flavoring, but it doesn't tell you what it is. I said, okay. Mike, I gotta tell you though, you gotta be careful about this antibacterial stuff, because most of the bacteria that's in your mouth is supposed to be there. It's good bacteria. Bacteria in your gut, right? You need that. Hey Ken, how you doing? Thanks, man. Appreciate it. See you next time. Thanks for joining us. And hope you have a good day at work today. All right. Always a pleasure, man. I think it was a Grey's Anatomy episode that I saw. My wife likes that show, where this woman used so many antibiotics that she killed the gut in her. She killed all the bacteria in her gut, and she had to eat actually some fecal material to get some of that back. So, oh man, thank you for always joining. Ken, before you go, I feel bad because I can't. You seem to be able to, with your schedule, to make my broadcast, but I swear all the time, I wake up in the morning and I've had a notification overnight. Of course, it was silent because I was asleep, and it was like you went live like 30 minutes after I went to bed. So I always try to catch you when I can, but that's how it goes. But thank you. I remember years ago when I was working with the gradient broadcasting, you know, we would go to these transmitter sites and they're really nasty. You know, they're old and dirty, and people don't clean them up as much, you know, because there's nobody there. In the old days, right, all these broadcast facilities were manned. All the transmitter sites were manned, but they aren't anymore. They haven't been manned for 40 years. So you go there and there's a mountain of dust and stuff. It is really nasty and dirty. So Grady and I used to go to the store and specifically look for some super high quality, you know, hand cleaner after you're digging around there and doing all kinds of stuff. And we remember when the antibacterial ones came out. We saw antibacterial, like, yeah, that's what we want. Yeah, let's get that. Antibacterial, yeah. And now look. You got super bacteria now that can't be killed. That in of itself is a topic worthy of discussion. And there's plenty of information about it on the internet where people using antibacterial soaps, you know, and detergents and so forth have killed the bacteria. But why are you humbled by my talk, man? I'm just drinking beer, munching on a sandwich by the side of the river. At least I'm not in a van down by the river. But I know what you mean, Mike, about the antibacterial mouthwash. And you know, that's the whole thing that Listerine was based on. But I don't think that Listerine does what a lot of these hand cleaners try to do, which is to basically sterilize your hands. Now, today is a different story with COVID-19. You know, we got, you know, African swine flu. We've got, you know, bird flu, and also Taiwan is going to roll out this year's flu vaccine next month in October. I'll be getting that. And so, yeah, I mean, I carry around a spray bottle with alcohol, but I don't use that wimpy 75%. I got 95% alcohol, man. I could do like a David Blaine fireball with that thing. That's a little bit different. You really, really want it, you know. Matthew, how you doing, bro? I don't know why, but I didn't see you come in. What happened? How did I miss you? How did I do that? Yeah, there you are. Oh, right, all the way back there. You know, I'm not looking. I'm not looking at the comments as much as I should. I'm sorry. Dreaded hay fever, boy. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, fortunately, I never suffered from that. I suffer from this other weird thing, but not that. We all suffer from something, man. All got something we got to bear. But Matthew, I apologize, bro, and I didn't see you, you know. Because I'm looking away. I'm yakking, but this is like a radio show. The camera's not on me, so I'm not even looking at the camera. It's like I used to do on the radio. I wouldn't even look at the mic. I'm just glancing around the room, my headphones on and stuff, you know. But yeah, it does. And it's funny because I bought some shampoo the other day for men, and it had a bundled bottle of Listerine. So, well, excellent, Matthew. Listen, man. You know, MJ's late night broadcasts and stuff, it's not a priority. And they're there until YouTube says they're not. Yeah. And I appreciate it, man. How's your family doing? And especially Mr. Grayson. Tell you what, Matthew, check this out. Through the power of Prism, if you have a new photo of cute little Grayson and you send it to the line group, I'll get the notification, I can pull it down, I can save the photo, I can add it, I can show it right here live. The whole process takes like 45 seconds. That's the real power of Prism Live Studio. All right. So just think about it. No pressure. If you've got a cute picture, man, send it away. Because it's cool because on my phone, I have gestures enabled. I have all the buttons like disabled. I got an Android phone and I don't use like a home button or a back button. It's all gestures. It's amazing. And I can just swipe and I can put Prism in the background. So Mike, would you tell my wife that? My wife thinks I'm just a typical husband. But thanks, man. I appreciate it. Mike, I learned some hard lessons, man. And you know, part of the problem with being a creepy old man is people don't want to listen to you. But every once in a while, I'll find a young person who's not, you know, judging the book by the cover. They're listening to what I'm saying. Even in my youth, though, I was able to positively influence a couple of guys. There's a kid back then named Sal, who was a guitar player. And I was playing a show at one of the big rock clubs, and he came up to me. I knew who he was, but I didn't really know him. And he asked me for some advice. I'm playing guitar, right? Dean, take care, bro. Thanks for joining, man. Have a good morning, okay? And I hope your hay fever, you know, symptoms, I hope they subside and you get some relief. I don't know what that's like, but I work with some guys that have hay fever, and it sucks. So this guy Sal was a pretty decent guitar player, but he did a lot of hammer-ons, you know, on his legato, you know. So he would like do a downstroke on the pick and hammer on 4 or 5 notes, and then do an upstroke and hammer on 4 or 5 other notes. And he was asking me about these techniques, and I said, "Look, man. Pick everything. You can do those hammer-on legatos, but learn how to pick everything. Just go woodshed, knuckle down and do it." Really? Yeah. I didn't see this kid again for a couple of years. By that time, I was married to the supermodel. We went to the Channel, big rock club in downtown Boston, the South End that I used to play. And he was in the club. He came right up to me and my wife. He says, "Hey, man, I got to tell you something." I said, "What?" He said, "You were so right." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" "So you told me a couple of years ago to pick everything." I said, "Yeah." He says, "Man, it's changed my style, my playing." He said, "I'm so articulate and I pick everything and it's so clean and clear and all my runs are fast legato and all that." I'm like, "Yeah, told you." So there you go. You're welcome. No charge. Yeah, but Mike, who wants to listen? You guys heard me talk about my friend Eddie. Eddie's one of the most hard-working men that I've ever known. Now, I didn't know him until he moved to Taiwan. I met him in Taiwan because his wife's Taiwanese, and he moved here a couple years ago, right? He's 75 years old now. But he had a big business. He was a contractor, and he also was like a building maintenance engineer, so he knows everything about, you know, elevators, HVAC, and everything, all this stuff that I don't know nothing about. And he's really great. And so he's got a couple sons, and one of his older sons, you know, he tried to get him into the business and, you know, and teach him something, and he didn't want to do it. And so his father kept giving him advice and giving him advice. And this is Eddie telling me this. He says, you know what he said? Eddie says, do you know what he said to me? I said, what? He said, Dad, let me make my own mistakes. Okay. I didn't get the notification. You sent it in the line group. Well, it can last until my battery runs out or my battery bank runs out. Let me do this. No, I don't want to end. Yeah. Okay, here we go. All right. Oh, here it is. Oh my goodness. Oh, you guys are not going to believe this picture. Oh my word. Okay, hold on, folks. This is the power of Prism. I didn't get the notification, but that's okay. And sorry about the false, you know, ending there. Oh my goodness. Will you look at this picture? Oh. Oh. Oh my goodness. Hey, listen. Whoever's looking at this picture, if your heart is not melting, you just, this makes my eyes, I'm tearing up, man, looking at this beautiful boy. Oh my gosh, what a blessing. What a gift from our Creator. You know, people believe in evolution, but you look at this. How can this be a product of evolution? Oh, unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And you know, this, I didn't even put up the Taiwan Live TV logo tonight because, you know, I didn't want to interfere with the, you know, the background and stuff. But this little guy right here, he's not interfering with the background at all. He's just, he's like, yeah, he can just stay right over here. Oh man, 4 months old. Yeah, as time flies, huh? Seems like just the other day he was born, huh? Look at that. Oh my goodness. And you know, I'm going to say something. When I look at a picture like this, you can see the intelligence. He's in there, man, and he's understanding what's happening around. He's 4 months old, but he knows a lot. He knows who mommy is and daddy. He knows his food source. You know, he knows all the important things. He has his favorite toys. He's making vocalizations. He's not talking yet, but he's making vocalizations, and he's letting you know what's going on, man. There's a person in there, man. You can see it. Look at it. Isn't that's just amazing. So if you don't mind, I'm just gonna leave him here. Wish I could pick him up and hold him. Boy, oh boy. Come over here, little Grace, and let Uncle MJ pick you up. But I was talking about Eddie, you know, and so I was sitting with Eddie one day, and he's a really interesting person, you know. Oh, fantastic! You should give us a video of him laughing. I love these videos of babies laughing. Somebody did, well, a lot of people don't, but somebody did this video of like 10 minutes of babies laughing on YouTube, and I'm telling you, man, that kind of stuff could end a war. I mean, you could have like a UN conference with all these the high tensions and people wanting to shoot each other, and you put on this video. Okay, we're going to watch a report, from the Security Council, and you put on 10 minutes of babies laughing, and pretty soon you got people, they're crying and they're hugging each other, and they're going like, "What were we thinking about? We're going to bomb your country, but you got babies like this." So that's what it is. People don't humanize it. They talk about collateral damage, and it's really it's disgusting when you think about the So Eddie and I were talking. He was kind of down. He says, "Yeah, my son," he says, I can't do anything with him. I mean, of course, his son is in his late 30s. He's married, got kids and stuff, but he can't advise him. He can't talk to him. He won't listen to him and stuff. And so Eddie left the States. His wife's Taiwanese. She said, "Yeah, I want to move back to Taiwan." He said, "Okay, I'll move back with him." He came back here. He loves it here. And let me tell you, he's got a pension plus Social Security, and he's got more than enough money. He's doing really well. He bought enough money to completely outfit a wood shop in his house, in his basement. And so, because money goes a lot further here, right? And so then one day, so Eddie's telling me, then when he said, my son called me. I said, "Yeah, well, was it good or bad?" He goes, "My son wants to take over my business." I'm like, this is the son that said no when you offered to give him the business before you left America, right? He said, "Yeah." Okay, but now he wants to take over the business. And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, didn't you close your business?" He said, "Yeah, I gave up my license." I said, "So what he's asking you to do is impossible." And he goes, "Well, it's not impossible. It would just cost me." And he's in California. Okay. So as soon as you say California, it's like you hear the cash register. He would have to reincorporate and he's got the credentials, so he can just basically re-up the licenses, and it would cost him thousands of dollars. And I said, "Why would you do that?" Because he said he wasn't interested, and now he is. Let him do it. And Eddie goes, "Yeah, that's what I think too. But hearing you say it, yeah, that's right." So yes, it is. This is something I was not going to talk about, but I saw in Project Veritas that they busted some left-wing Antifa 1984 NSOC Mao Zedong and apparently Leninist, Lenin supporter, who said that he has 180 days to turn children, his students, into revolutionaries. That is not his job description. Of course, now he's been fired, and he's all mad at the conservatives in Project Veritas because they outed him, but this guy was really proud about indoctrinating kids. I told my wife, we have our daughter in a private school, and it's not cheap. It's not public school. It's private school. And it basically follows the American education system, but there's no wokeness in it. I told my wife, I said, the minute there's any wokeness, if there's any CRT or there's any of that political stuff, I'm going down, and I told her, prepare yourself, because there will be a news article about a foreigner who went in school and caused a big problem about American socialist, Marxist idealism being taught to his student, his kid in Taiwan. Because my daughter has never heard the N-word. She doesn't know what racism is. I teach my daughter there are no races, and anybody who thinks that black people and white people and yellow and red and pink, that they're different, is an idiot. And so there's a new song that I'm writing. And one of the lines of the song says, "Can't you see when I bleed? Just like you. It's all the same. So how can you hate me from the outside? And you don't know my name." And that's just how it goes. I mean, so anyway, kids are listening. They listen to everything that you say. And this whole thing about the conscious kid and Hasbro and all that, and that stupid woman, I mean, I don't know how to say it. She's dumb. She's saying that, kids, by the time they're 6 months, they're making racial preferential choices, and by 3 years old, they're using racist terminology. If your kid is using racist terminology, it's because you are using racist terminology in your home, and you should be ashamed of yourself. That's the reason. Kids don't know any of this stuff. It's taught. It's 100% taught. And I do not allow it in my home. So whenever my daughter makes choices about things, like she picked the white Barbie doll, not the black Barbie doll. Well, I very casually and without accusation at all, just nonchalantly asked her, "Why did you like that one?" And it had to do with the dress and the accessories that came with it. She said, "I liked the other doll, but it didn't have the pocketbook and the dress and the shoes that I wanted." Okay. That's perfectly fine. But they are the right info into kids' ears. And one of the things that my daughter hears me say is, we need to help that person. And so whenever we can, we do. I don't tell people about charitable stuff I do, but we do charitable stuff with our company and personally. And that's what you do. That's what you're supposed to do. That's scriptural. Yep. Bible says if you have the means to help someone, you should. I believe that. But why would somebody want to take a bunch of innocent little school kids and turn them into revolutionaries? I mean, what are they trying to accomplish? And this guy, it's not like he's repentant. You can just go to YouTube and just look up Project Veritas and watch their latest videos. He's not repentant. He made his own video thanking everybody for the support against all these, enemies and stuff. That guy's the enemy. See, here's how it works, folks. If you benefit from a system, then you have a responsibility to protect that system and contribute to it. So this is what happens with China. Some of these Taiwan guys marry China wives, and they're shills for the CCP. They're out in front of Taipei 101 in different places holding up banners. Taiwan's a part of China, got to get rid of the DPP, get the CCP in here. And the only reason that they can say that is because their free speech is protected here. If you're Falun Gong and you're in China, you're a dead person. You're an organ donor, whether you want to be or not. And so these people are promoting a regime that, if it were to become prominent, then they would lose the ability to do what they do. And so I don't get it. And that goes for everything, If you appreciate the air that you breathe, You have a responsibility to keep it clean. The ground, the earth. You have a responsibility to take care of these systems that you benefit from. But there are so many people that just, have these ideologies and they're looking, they make themselves victims. They're looking for, it's the oppressor/oppressed model, and it doesn't work. Because for every rich person that gets rich, that does not mean that another person becomes poor. So Mike, you want to say something before this great stream ends? Well, I don't know how great it is, but I sure am enjoying this little picture of Mr. Grayson over here. Wow, look at him. Now, I haven't been looking at the screen as much because I'm just philosophizing, but Matthew, have you, or anyone else, have you sent me any other pictures online yet? Wow. When I get back, I'm going to reframe my thumbnail with him, if you don't mind. I'd like to put him in the thumbnail. I think it'd be great. Now, guys, I told you that I got this. Okay, just one. Okay, thank you. And let me know if it's okay if I, because he's on the stream now, and you haven't ordered me to remove it, so it's probably okay. But I just want to say, I think I want to put him on the, on the thumbnail. Oh. Come on, Mike. You don't have to be so hard on yourself. I'm strict on Phoenix because she's bilingual. She's a bilingual kid, and I want to make sure that she understands everything. So she'll say, "Pumpkin, have you ate this?" And I said, "No, it's eaten." So I'm correcting her stuff, so it's good. But don't worry about it. And I've always said, okay, great. I've always said, I'm fluent in typo. But last night's stream down the park, I was showing you the specs on this computer, and a guy actually had it ready yesterday. I got it today, and I put I brought down the RedNet PCIe Dante audio networking card in there, and I turned the machine on. And I was mentioning yesterday that it's locked at 65 watts, and if you unlock it and feed it with 125 watts, even up to 250 watts, if you have the amount of cooling, heat sinking available, I don't know how much that can handle, but that MSI motherboard has a monster heatsink, and on top of the CPU is another heatsink with its own fan, and the case has 4 fans, 3 in the front going in, 1 in the back going out, and there's a port on the top with a filter on it. It's ice cold in there. But even without upping the power supply above 65 watts, I opened Reaper today, which is a DAW, and I put 30 plugins on it on one track. It asked me, do you want to add 30 plugins? I went, yep. It added all the plugins on, and it was still able to render the file. These were not native Reaper plugins. Native Reaper plugins run like a scalded dog. So then I put the same track. Then I put 30 native Reaper plugins on this one track and try to render it. Yeah. Now check this out. I put 30. Yes, I put 30 native Reaper plugins on it, and it still rendered the file at 7 times normal speed. Get this. I just wanted to see what would happen. Just one stereo track. I wanted to render it, standard 24-bit, 48 kilohertz. It rendered it at 275 times normal speed. The problem with that computer is it's so damn fast that you can screw something up before you realize you did it. You click something, what happens? Boom. Where'd it go? I think I deleted it, or I modified it, or something. That's the problem. So I put up RX8, and RX8 Advanced is one of the most advanced audio editors. It's like, Photoshop of audio. You can look at either like the waveform or the spectrum, and so you look at the spectrum. Say you're working with an orchestra, and somebody moved a music stand and it went a little squeak, and you can see that. You draw a box around it, you can erase it like Photoshop. And so it also has a function called music rebalance. So for example, you can take a song and say, I'm going to just take the drums out, or I'll take the bass out, or I'll take the vocals out. And so the other day with my older machine, there's a project I'm working on for a guy, and I wanted to take the percussion out, and it took 15 minutes to render that track, and on my new machine it took 2 minutes. So I haven't even checked out yet opening up with the higher, the higher wattage, the higher power level. But it's an MSI motherboard, and it is a monster motherboard. It fully supports Generation 10 and Generation 11 Intel chips. And so here's the thing. All the extra cables are in there. I think what I have to do, because the CPU actually has P1 and P2 power settings, and I think I have to add one of the other power cables. You can power the CPU with one cable, but if you want to do these fancy differences, then you have to put the second cable on, and I haven't actually looked at it to see. But fortunately, it's one of those really interesting Taiwanese LED cases with LEDs on all the fans and a tempered clear glass side panel, so I can just kind of shine my flashlight in there and look at it. So how long is this stream? Well, I got about 3 fingers of beer left, and let me check the pull down. I have 39% battery, and I have a fully charged battery bank, and the phone is USB-C, so it's always an efficient power transfer. So if I really wanted to, I probably could stay on another 3 or 4 hours, but I don't really want to stay out that late. See, in Asia we always take showers before we retire for the evening, so I got to go back upstairs, and my wife and Phoenix are in the room in bed, and I would obviously be trudging in the room, and going into the restroom and taking a shower, making noise and stuff. So but it's local time here is let me see, that's 23:27, so it's like it's at least half an hour till midnight, so that's cool. But well, let me do this just because I haven't actually done this tonight. So, well, thank you. Hey guys, I just want to say hi. I really tell you, man. I mean, I wish I was cute as this little guy here. I mean, come on, unbelievable. Hour 9 minutes, yeah. Hour 9 minutes. Yep. I know Dave in Osaka has told me several times he prefers the longer broadcasts. And I know why, because he's usually working and listening in the background. A lot of live streamers would be insulted by that. Oh, you're not giving me your full attention. But as an old radio guy, you fall asleep listening to Art Bell. It's a good time. it puts you in a nice mood, you know, and it depends on the voice, depends on the vibe, depends what, you know, what you're talking about. So did I? Was it a, I don't remember ever going that long, but that girl in Laos, I showed you, that girl in Laos would go 16 or 18 hours. I don't know how she did it. I guess she was hooked up to the mains. If I did a 4-hour broadcast, I don't remember. I think I do kind of remember. I think I went like 3 one time, and it was because I had a lot of interaction. If I don't have a lot of interaction and people aren't asking questions, I figure it's, you know, it's time to quit. But it's not like, you know, a real talk show where we're coming up to the top of the hour and going to take a short break, and we got 5 minutes to wrap it up, and then after this is going to be the next show. So, see, Matthew, there you go. Exactly. Exactly. So, if I get real close up to the phone, maybe I can get some proximity effect. I don't know. I'm in the middle, so I should be equally balanced between the microphones. And if you're listening in stereo and I go to this side or I go over to this side, I knew a guy in Greensboro named Weldon Booth, who was a nighttime jock at an FM station, and I went up to the station to visit it. And unlike a lot of FM stations, usually FM radio stations only have a single microphone. It's center channel, and they use processing, you know, to widen it. But this particular station actually had 2 condenser mics mounts. And as Weldon was talking, he'd be saying like, so tomorrow's going to be a great day. It'll be partly sunny. Temperature's about 75 degrees. Light wind from the east. In the evening, there might be evening thunderstorms, a little bit of lightning. So take your umbrella with you. And as he's doing that, he's going back and forth between the speakers, you know, there's between the microphones, which ultimately would be between the speakers. So I was talking to him about that later. He says, yeah, people driving their car, man. I want to give them, you know, something to keep them interested. And I thought that was really cool, man. But now everything is done with, you know, plug-ins and so forth. So, but Dave, I'll keep you updated as I figure out how to pop that thing up to like 125 watts. One of the, and I should send you this article, Dave, but a guy, you know, was reviewing that processor, and he said that he unlocked the 65 watt limit, set it to 125 watts. He said 2 things. First of all, the thermal specs on it is ridiculous. Like running at 65 watts, the temperature on the thing was like 30 degrees C. And so he ran it to like 125 watts, and it went to like, I think he said it was like 45 or something like that degrees. So it's nothing, okay, nothing at all. But he said it made it 33% faster. So I was like, whoa, 10 cores, 20 threads. And so, yeah. Matthew, take care. Thank you for joining. And I know, wow, I was right. And hopefully you can join us tomorrow night. And now, anything can happen. But I ran it by my wife, and I ran it by Phoenix, because, you know, I'm a family man, and I can't just go off and do anything that I want, you know, anytime that I want. But unless there is some vehement objection, or unless, like, it comes out between now and tomorrow that there's a huge coronavirus breakout or something down there, we got to be careful. I'm going to take that little light gauge rail, hopefully with Phoenix, and we're going to run. Plus, you know, I can plug into the battery bank. I mean, into the, you know, into the gimbal. And so we can keep going, and I'll show you the market, and we're going to get stuff to eat, you know, so you can see Phoenix and I interacting with the local people and talking with them. You guys want to ask some questions, you know, we could do that too. That would be a lot of fun. I haven't done one of those kind of feel things in a long time. I mean, the closest thing I did the other day is I just went to that the day market, you know, in Hukou. That's always a favorite. But there isn't so much going on there now. You know, it's still a little bit subdued. But I saw this night market, and on the way back from the station, and it's all lit up. And yeah, it does, because I haven't actually been to a night market in a long time. I have to break out my last red mask just for the occasion, I think. And yeah. NFTs. Dave, I'm not sure what that means. NFTs. Is this about audio? You have to pretend I'm stupid, which isn't hard to do. NFTs. Last night I told a story about the electrogravitics program at Lockheed Martin, and I was thinking, no, I haven't. I haven't heard anything about those. No. If you have some links or something, I'd be very interested. There's a lot going on. It's a hot topic. China has basically outlawed all of that stuff because they want to make the RMB a cryptocurrency. So they're trying to get the world to trade in the renminbi. Yeah, like that's going to happen. But no, wow. Okay. I think I heard of that yacht club for some reason, but yeah, please do. I always like learning new stuff, and to be honest with you, I don't know much about cryptocurrency. I mean, I know the principles under which it functions, and it never interested me. And you guys know why? It's because I told you that it's my opinion that. And this is based on. Oh, I see. Okay, my watch just gave me a notification, Dave, that you sent that. I appreciate it. Thanks. Wow, 12 million at Sotheby's. Wow, that's really interesting. The reason that I kind of don't trust that stuff is because I realize that. Sorry, I'm looking at my watch. Being able to have these notifications is pretty amazing. Wow, that is cool. The thing is whenever you have, I mean, like, Americans are not allowed to own gold bullion. Why? Because the government said so. Because they don't want people trading in gold. You know, they don't want people, like the barter system, you know. I love the barter system. A lot of stuff that I do is on barter system. I don't tell anybody. It's just that, you know, the government can't tax you on that, you know. So I need you to chop down some trees, you know, because I want to clear the land. And so if you're willing to do it and I give you the trees for the lumber, what's wrong with that? I see nothing taxable. I see that's just, you know. But these taxation systems are based on zero value of your own labor. And most people don't think about that. And income taxes are the only tax that's self-assessed. Like your, you know, sales tax at a store, or your excise tax on a car, property tax on your home. You don't assess that. Your government assesses that and sends you the bill or charges you on the spot for sales tax. So I've never understood these things, how they were allowed to be put in place and people just let it happen. But so I like the barter system. I like that a lot. But the truth is anything that's exists outside of the, let's call it what it is. It's fiat money. It's a fiat system. It's a giant pyramid scheme in some respects. Well, those powers that run the world are not going to let you get away with it for too long. So I'm going to read those articles and see what happens. I mean, I have no doubt that if I wanted to get involved in cryptocurrency, you know, that I could do something with it, but I just never bothered with it. I was concentrating on making that fiat money because, you know, none of my suppliers have ever asked me for Bitcoin. You know, they're asking me for NT dollars or US dollars. But I did see something on YouTube the other day that was funny. There was some kind of contest or something where they were going to award like a couple hundred, this is about 10 years ago or something or more. They're going to, for this contest, they're going to award the winner something like $200 cash or 25 Bitcoins. So if you had 25 Bitcoins now, and you could convert them into something. That's the problem, though. It's just kind of like my little yo-yo card. You know, I go down to 7-Eleven and I put 500 NT in my yo-yo card, and that's well and good. It sits there, but if I can't do any services with it, if I can't get, you know, out of it, if I can't get the value out of it, then what happens? So, but I know that the United States, it is a lot of money. I know. Yeah, it's in the millions, right? And so I know in the United States there's always been a push on a cashless society, but some societies like this, and Dave, you know, places you've been, like Laos, Thai, and, you know, Myanmar, they're never going to be a cashless society. Those are all cash-based societies, you know. Yeah, there you go. So somebody won that. So the story says somebody took they took the Bitcoin. So, but here in Taiwan, there was a news article in Focus Taiwan. Gosh, I think it was about a week ago. Some Taiwanese investor, he lost his Bitcoins because hackers took it. I don't know how that works with blockchain and all that. I don't know how that happened. They didn't elaborate, but they said somebody, quote unquote, broke into his hard drive and he lost all his Bitcoin. So I guess, you know, I don't know. Is it any safer than paper money? See, with FDIC in the United States, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, at least if somebody robs the bank, the government will cover the money you have in it. If you go to your home and you got it safe, and somebody tries to steal it, they have to physically be there and physically overpower you and do it. But if somebody can just, from the other side of the world, remotely hack you, of course they do that all the time anyway with stealing, you know, banking credentials. But yeah, so I'm always careful. Use a VPN, and but what a world, huh? What a world where so many people spend so much time attacking people they don't know that live in faraway places using a computer anonymously, you know. And I've always said that these guys who are doing this would not have the guts to go up to somebody and stab them and rob them. But they'll hide behind, you know, Tors or something to just try to hack other people. So, what a world we live in. Yeah. Well, Mike, the answer to your question is, I think this live stream is about to end. Yours truly is getting kind of tired. And I woke up earlier this morning, and I didn't take any kind of a nap today. I was all absorbed trying to configure this computer, and I still haven't put together the Dante network yet. I bought a network switch today and Cat6 cable. I still got to put it together and configure it. It's not going to take that long. I just have to do it, and then make sure the ASIO drivers are working and functioning with Reaper and all that. So I got like another half a day. But part of it too is I probably have about close to a terabyte of session audio and other things, like all the clips, you know, I've done for Taiwan Live TV and all that stuff. I got to copy it from one PC to the other. Now the new PC has a USB-C, and USB-C is safe no matter how you hook things up. It's amazing. Not like a USB-A port or micro USB. So I have on the old computer a nice USB 3 port. I can plug a, you know, the A side of a USB-C cable into that. Then I can plug the USB-C connector into the USB-C connector on the new computer, and then they will be connected, and I can view the new computer on the old computer and just drag files to it and let it do that. That's going to be great. So, but it's still going to take about 5 hours to cut everything over. So I'll probably just go upstairs to the studio, hook it up, open up the browser window, you know, copy, paste, get it going, and just go downstairs and do other stuff and come back 4 or 5 hours later and try to get it running. But I should be able to get the machine running probably by the end of one more day. When I get back Monday, I'll probably have it running fine on Monday night. So, all right. So tomorrow I'm gonna go out with the family. We're gonna see how my wife's dad's doing. Hey, there's some fish down there. Did you guys hear that? Some fish down there. You hear that? You see that? When those fish jump like that, it usually means there's a predator. But don't ask me how they know. Must be through, you know, sensory means, because you sure can't see anything down there. It's amazing how, you know, the animal can, just amazing how these animals know these things. But so tomorrow I'm going to spend time with my family, see what's going on with them, and I'll check in with everybody on the line group and let everybody know what's going on. And then looks like tomorrow night we're going to be going down to the night market on the light rail. And one of the things that I have missed doing, and I didn't do for a long time, I did it a long time ago on Periscope, is I went to the roof of the library and I scoped the sun down. So I'm going to talk with Phoenix and my wife about that, because that was nice. That was really, really nice. And I got my gimbal and I could set that up and just have a nice little chat and watch the sun go down behind the library out into the harbor, Kaohsiung Harbor, which is a pretty cool place. And then maybe from there we can just catch the Qingwei, the light rail, and head on over to the night market. So All right, you guys take care. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate hanging in there, and all the comments. It's great. And Dave, thank you for that information on the Bored Ape Yacht Club. It looks fascinating. He said it's insane. Yeah, I just saw the title of the articles, and it is insane. So thank you so much, and I want to thank Matthew for the cute picture of his little boy. Look at that. That is just so cute. I want to tickle him. You guys take care, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching Taiwan Live TV and for supporting me. I'm not going to say, now everybody says, thank you for supporting the channel. No, you're not supporting the channel, you're supporting me, and I appreciate it. So if you are so inclined, I'd like for you to consider this, if you wouldn't mind. If you wouldn't mind, I'd appreciate subscribing, commenting, and liking. Thank you guys. Take care. See you now. Bye-bye. Once again,